What kinds of false myths and limiting beliefs are we talking about? Well, there's many of them, and there's, for example, the idea that eyesight problems are genetic, and if you got them, then there's nothing you can do because they're programmed. Well, if you've heard that eyesight problems are genetic, let me give you some examples that completely contradict this false and limiting belief. Well, first of all, contemporary research and science is proving through epigenetics that genes are more of a set of switches that are turned on or off depending on your lifestyle and habits. Yeah. So while you may have a predisposition to develop certain symptoms, it's up to you and what you do in your daily life that gets started or not. And what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about many things such as the quality of your sleep, how much sunshine you get, if you eat correctly and you exercise, if you have a sense of purpose in life, how are your relationship with others, if you live in an environment with lots of toxicity or you're in contact with nature, etc., etc. So depending on what you are choosing to do, you'll have those genes be activated for the sickness to appear or not. And if you're and that time plays a role, but in the sense of how you accumulate the good habits or the bad habits. But we'll get to that later. But getting back to the idea that vision problems could be genetic, well, we also have proof about that that contradicts that idea for the most part. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. In the 70s, there was a very famous research that was done in Inuit population. So Eskimos and other ethnic groups that live in Alaska. And we're going to talk about 3 generations of Inuit population. And it's the same genetics because it's the same families and they're married among themselves. We're going to talk about the grandparents, the parents, and the children. In the 70s, the grandparents had kept their lifestyle, their traditional lifestyle, living in the ice and fishing and hunting and having their ice houses, etc. And the grandparents had excellent eyesight, absolutely excellent. Now, the parents had developed a mixed way of life. Some of them would still live in the ice, but work in the city, or the other way around. They would live in the city, but they would still hunt and fish. So they kind of had a mixed way of life. And in this mixed way of life, they started to have eyesight issues. And now we have the generation of the children who in the 70s were fully engaged in school, in public schooling, just like every other population of the United States. And the children developed exactly the same degrees of myopia, astigmatism, etc., as the rest of the American children. Same genetics, but different lifestyle. So this is one of the examples that lifestyle causes the eyesight issues, not genetics. Now, you may have heard also that if you wear glasses, you need to wear them all the time. Yes, because if you don't wear them all the time, your eyesight will get worse. Well, guess what? The opposite is true. When you're forcing your eyes to be behind your glasses all the time, you're forcing them to keep the tension so that they can see clear through those glasses. Yes? And you don't let them escape and relax and train to see better. There's even an article by Antonio Medina, published by the MIT, so not a minor institution, a very prestigious institution, the Technological Institute of Massachusetts, saying that actually wearing glasses increases the prescription. If you wear glasses, your eyesight is going to deteriorate faster. And we told you already lesson number 1, that if you want to improve your eyesight, of course, safety first. And if you need to wear glasses for driving for now, please use them. We want you to be safe and others as well. And if you need them for specific jobs that require precision, well, maybe it makes sense to wear them at times. But all the rest of the time that you can function safely without glasses, it's better not to use glasses. More limiting beliefs that you may have heard is that glasses or surgery are the only options. If you have bad eyes, that's the only thing you can do. Compensate the refractive errors with glasses or getting surgery. Well, the good news is that along with those options that keep existing, and sometimes they may be useful, sometimes there are some certain kinds of surgeries that are necessary. For example, if there's a retinal detachment or if there's a high sudden glaucoma, well, then you need surgery. But in many other cases, you have other options. Also, In some cases, it may be useful for a while to wear glasses or to have reduced glasses as you're improving your eyesight. But there's a third profession entering the scene of eye care, which is that of vision coaches. And vision coaches and vision teachers and vision educators have been around for 100 years. It's not like we invented the profession right now, but what is new now is that for the first time in history, there's the first university degree for vision coaches. And so we have a constellation of roles and professions to help people with their eyesight. Of course, among the eye doctors, there's several kinds. You have ophthalmologists that can do the diagnosis, that can give you medical treatments, that can perform surgeries. You have the optometrists. Those are the ones that are seeing what is the refractive error that you have and how it could be compensated with glasses. So if you're nearsighted, farsighted, if you have astigmatism, or the need for reading glasses or amblyopia or strabismus, they could compensate those refractive errors and issues with glasses. But then you have the vision coach. Well, you have the opticians that are the ones that actually make the glasses, adjust the glasses and sell them to you. And then you have the vision coaches that are the people that can teach you the good habits, the good care for your eyes to have good eyesight for life. In the same way that you may have traumatologists that if you hurt yourself, you have a fall or an accident, they can see what happened with your bones and muscles. And you have the people who create the orthopedics, right? They create the ways to secure your body parts when you broke something and the crutches and all of that. But then you also have physiotherapists that are the ones who teach you how to walk again with your legs if you broke them, and how to rehabilitate your arms and your hands, etc., your body parts, so that they can function normally again. So that's the equivalent of vision coaches for eyesight and vision. Some people may have been told that if your symptoms were congenital, if they were from birth, that there's nothing you can do. Well, actually, in lesson number 3, and the video will be released tomorrow and the live in a couple of days, we're going to talk also about congenital symptoms and how we can have another perspective on how and why they develop. But the good news is that even if you were born with eyesight issues, you can improve from them. I was born with myopia, amblyopia, and strabismus, and got rid of them within 6 months. Yeah, so you can get rid of them too, even if you've had them from birth all your life. And some people believe that if it runs in the family, you cannot do anything. But guess what? You not only inherit genes, and we already said how genes actually can be triggered or not with lifestyle, but there's more things that you inherited from your family. The lifestyle and the habits, probably. It's likely that you eat as your family ate, that you do the exercise as your family did, that you live in similar environments, relate to people in a similar way, have similar beliefs and norms. But these are things that you can choose to change. So even if there's symptoms that run in the family, you can change your way of life, you can change your habits, you can change your mindset, and you can have a positive change. And guess what? Once you do that, you become a beacon of light, you become a leader, you become an example, a model, and you become the first person in your family to see well, and then you can teach others, and others can inherit your good eyesight. So you can do this for yourself, but you can also do this having in mind impacting positively your family. And a couple of limiting beliefs that we're going to focus on more today are that sunlight is bad for your eyesight and that you need to wear blue blockers if you're using screens. Well, we're going to start with the last one. Actually, research is not very conclusive about the effectiveness of blue blockers. It is not clear that wearing blue glasses is going to help you with the light that comes from the screens. However, today we're going to tell you of other more effective alternatives to that if you want to help your eyes not be affected by artificial lights that we're surrounded by all the time. And if you've been believing that sunlight was bad for your eyesight, well, guess what? Actually, the opposite is true. Or we actually need to be careful in dosing correctly sunlight for our eyes, and then it is very beneficial. First of all, if there's life on planet Earth, it's thanks to the natural light of the sun. and hiding from it is actually has a lot more inconveniences for our health than being exposed to it. And contemporary research knows more and more about it every time. Sunlight regulates our nervous system. Sunlight regulates our endocrine system. People who hide from the sun have more chances to develop cancer, for example, to sleep less well at night and have insomnia. And the quality of your sleep is also very important for your overall health. Sunlight regulates the circadian cycle of the body. The body is informed about what time it is in the day by the quality of the light spectrum from the sun. And if we alter it or we're not exposed to it, we're lying to our body, and our body gets confused and it gets out of regulation. And then more sicknesses can appear. Let me give you one example, and then we'll keep talking about this. But you know that the original population in Australia is very dark-skinned. Well, when you are very dark-skinned and you have a lot of melanin on your skin, you don't get burned by the sun, and you don't develop skin cancer because you're naturally protected. Now, when the original population in Australia started wearing sunglasses for fashion, they started getting burned by the sun and developing skin cancer because the organism, the body, was not well informed about the intensity and the quality of the light and the moment of the day. And we're doing that when we're wearing glasses and sunglasses. With sunglasses, it's even worse because they lie to our eyes and to our system a lot more. But anytime you are wearing any kind of glass, it's filtering part of the spectrum of solar light, even the glass in the window. So it's important that you take the time to be outdoors in the sun at least once a day and at different moments of the day. And maybe in the beginning, it's easier to do it in the morning or in the evening when the sun is not so big, so intense. Or if you live in the Ecuador, of course, you're going to take this into account. Make it comfortable for you. Pay attention to what is comfortable, what feels good to your body. But it's important that over time, you take the opportunity to spend more time outdoors and to be touched by sunlight.